Hello everyone, it is Pat with our Oracle card reading and message for this upcoming week, the 26th of August through the 1st of September. So actually now we're in our last final week of August. I thought we were last week, but anyways, for today's reading I'm going to be doing like I usually do. I'm going to ask for an archangel who's overseeing us this week and their message. I'm going to be working with my deck of mixed fairy cards also, but I've been working more recently with the diving into something called the Akashic Records. And the Akashic Records are kind of like a field of energy. They're a place where, I guess if you want to call it like in the ethers, where the records of our lifetimes are kept. And there is a deck by Sharon Ann Klinger and Sandra Ann Taylor. Sandra Ann Taylor is who I first learned about the records from in one of her courses. But this is called the Akashic Tarot. So I'm going to delve into this a little bit today. It's the first time I think I've used this deck for our weekly reading. So let's see what's going on for the week. Alrighty. So for the archangels, the archangel who came flying out of the deck, who's overseeing us this week, is Archangel Raphael with the message of breathe, okay? And it says, take several deep breaths, exhale slowly to awaken your energy and to release old patterns. And what I feel about this is it really has more of the releasing old patterns. Today, in the next couple of days, the things that are going on astrologically, one, we have a full moon, and as I've come to understand, it's a pretty strong full moon that's going on today. And we also have one of the planets going out of retrograde. Mars is going out of retrograde. I'm sure you remember me mentioning earlier that there's this, and it's pretty well known, it's all out all over the internet, and that we've been in a time where there's been a lot of planets in retrograde. A couple weeks ago, Mercury went out of retrograde. Actually, it wasn't a couple weeks ago. It was on the 18th, so it wasn't that long ago. And now we have Mars coming out of retrograde. So I feel like Raphael's message this week with Breathe is a message of, one, working with your breath to get through any emotional difficulties that come up for you. Because with full moons can bring things to the surface. They can shine the light on things. Things can be revealed. It can also be a very emotional time. So he's letting you know that, oftentimes the best way to get through that is to breathe your way through it. Take that time out to take those deep breaths. And if you have a strong emotion there, just be with it and let it move through your body, and use your breath to help it move through you, okay? You might need to take a few deep breaths before you go and have an interaction with someone or have a conversation with them that might be difficult, okay? I also do feel that this has to do with, he's here to help us with physical breathing issues. There is a lot of pollutants going into the atmosphere right now. Breathing is going to become an issue. Okay, we have volcanic ash that's gone up into the air from Hawaii and other places around the world. We have the soot that's gone up from the fires that have been going on in California as well as other places in the world. And our current president, Mr. Trump, has, as I understand, he's put something through that is releasing or lifting some of the restrictions, or I'm not catching the right word, but the things that are in place for the companies and businesses that have a lot of smoke going into the air, have a lot of pollutants that go into the air. There's restrictions on that, just like there's restrictions on, in the United States when we get our cars inspected on, exhaust. Our exhaust fumes can only have a certain amount of certain chemicals in them. So Mr. Trump has has lightened the or changed the regulations around that. So there's going to be more pollutants going into the air. So I feel strongly that, you know, this has to do with breathing issues or breathing problems with people becoming more of an issue. Not just immediately, but also for down the road. Okay. You know, I do feel like some people are going to want to start to wear those, you know, the masks, like the surgical masks, or the ones that certain medical people use when they're working on you, nurses, dentists, doctors, etc., at certain times. So, but for healing also, and whether it's physical healing or emotional healing, the focus is on your breath as a way of relaxing your body and mind, and to get through whatever it is you need to get through. But call on Raphael for issues with that, okay? He can help to calm your breathing. He can help you to use your breath to get through something, and he's a healing angel. So work with him. He's bringing himself out for us to work with this week, okay? All right, so let's go on and see what the fairies have to, and the Akashic Records have to tell us about this week. All right, so we're going to start with the fairies. And what's interesting is when I pulled cards from each of these decks, as you know, for me, a lot of times the cards will pop out. And from each deck, there were 4 cards that popped out instead of the, you know, usually I get about 3 for our week, but this week each deck had 4 that came out. So that's got to be symbolic. I know 4 is the number of the angels, so I think we probably have extra angels surrounding us as we go into this week. So with the fairies, the beginning of the week started out with detoxification. And this fairy is taking a little cleansing bath. But you know, that's what, with the full moons that bring up a lot of stuff, that's what it's helping us to do, is detoxify. You know, we don't have to be afraid of what comes up for us, okay? Even if the emotions or the feelings are a little bit on the ugly side, you know, they really just need to be acknowledged. And, you know, as Raphael, you know, pointed out, breathe kind of through them, acknowledge their presence there, come to terms with them, you know. We're all human. We, you know, as much as we aspire to grow spiritually and connect with the divine in our own way and on our own path, we still have our humanity to deal with and our ego on a day-to-day basis. So anyways, so the beginning of the week has to do with probably a bit of detoxifying, you know, some maybe emotions that have been lying underneath the surface. Or maybe you did a little too much imbibing over the weekend and you need to detoxify your body. But what's very prominent in this picture is water. And you may need to drink a lot more water over the next couple of days. Maybe if you're someone who, like me, loves kind of, you know, baths and stuff like that, taking a nice sea salt bath and with some, you know, nice essential oils in it as a way of cleansing and detoxifying your energy field, okay? But it's clearly about washing away, you know, the icky feelings, emotions, or the residue that's in your body, you know, and using water to do that, whether you're drinking water, whether you're going and sitting nearby some water as a means of having a place where you can quietly reflect, you know, the calm, still water like what's in this, or you're using water as your own cleansing ritual. But it's very clearly outlined in this. And take that time. I'm drinking water too. That's, even though it's a coffee cup. So anyways, it's about taking it. Just keep that in mind, that it's about detoxifying, okay? When we detoxify, sometimes there's just, you know, a lot of, just like when you're sick, there's a lot of icky stuff that comes to the surface. And so, but it needs its own outlet. It needs a way to, you know, move through. And water is very helpful in that process. So anyways, right after that, the fairies are talking to us about, it says parenting and children. And I know this has to do with the fact that everybody's going back to school. So there's a lot of involvement with both parents and children, getting the kids back to school, getting them back into a routine again, and, you know, taking care of the issues that have to do with them, you know, getting back to school. So that's a lot of what this card has to do with, okay? And, you know, there's going to be, I think, a lot more in place this year, in our school year, from the schools, to ensure our children's safety because of everything that took place last year with the shootings and things occurring at schools. So I feel like there's going to be new procedures in place in some schools for the safety and protection of the kids, okay? And there's a lot of parents supporting that. And it's the parents who are rallying to help make that possible, to put those new procedures in place. It has a lot of parental support around it. And that's a lot of what this card has to do with, okay? So, and the next card that the fairies threw at us was "You are supported." It says, actually, this is more of a guardian angel card, and it's got the unicorn on it too. So, yeah, it's a guardian angel card. So it says, "Allow heaven to carry you as well as any burdens that you may have." So it's about, you know, if you're wrestling with this, you know, kind of uncertainty about, because you can't clearly see how to accomplish something or do something, or there's just, you know, stuff that you're wrestling with or issues that you're encountering that don't seem to have a resolution at the moment, you know, turn it over to the angels, to your angels and guides, to God, to whoever you reach out to spiritually. But they're letting you know that you're supported. Sometimes we can't always see what they're doing because they're working behind the scenes for us. But the universe has your back and they are supporting you. And that's what this card is here to let you know, okay? And I also feel like for some of you out there, it's to let you know that you're supported not just by your spiritual team, but there is support out there for you, you know, from family, from friends, from your, you know, maybe your work community, or the communities that you're immersed in. There is support for you out there, okay? And you are lovingly supported, and it may be that you see the evidence of that showing up in your life, that you are supported, okay? So have faith in that. And the final card they brought out to us, which probably, you know, this is going more towards the end of the week, is self-appreciation. And it may be due to that support that you see that you get, okay? That it's bringing your awareness to just how much you're appreciated. So it says, "See the angel within and love yourself more." So this card will oftentimes come up if you have been in a place where you're feeling, you know, kind of strung out, and like you're the one running around always helping everybody else. And so now the universe is letting you know that you are supported, and it's a way of helping you to appreciate yourself, okay? You're finally, you know, like this angel in this picture, she's kind of holding up the candle to herself in the mirror so she can see a true reflection of herself in a positive light. You know, the candle is that symbol of light, the spark of light within us that we all have. And so she's finally illuminating herself, kind of coming out of the dark a bit about her true self, that, you know, how much she's loved, how much he or she can appreciate about herself, and what she has to contribute to the world. It's kind of like in that movie when It's a Wonderful Life, when George Bailey finally realizes just how much he has positively helped and affected other people. And at the end of that movie, they all come around to support him when it's him who's in trouble, when he's having a hard time. So, and it's these cards sort of, you know, towards the end of the week represent that. And it's a really lovely and beautiful experience. So I'd love to hear how it shows up for you in your life if you want to share that. So, all right, let's go on to the Akashic Record cards. Okay, so with the Akashic Records cards, they're a little bit different than the fairies. You know, each card deck sort of has its theme and its feeling to it. The fairies can be, because the fairies are the spirits of nature and they're more connected to the material world, they're more personal to us. They deal with more personal issues and day-to-day things that we're dealing with or maybe encountering. I mean, I've shuffled the fairy deck and had 3 cards pop out. That all happened in that afternoon. So the Akashic is a little bit different. It's dipping into that field of energy that has kind of the collective consciousness and is a little bit broader in its scope, okay? So at the beginning of the week, with these four, again, we had 4 cards that came out. So the beginning of the week heralds this one. It's wishes fulfilled. And if you look at this card, it is, you know, a room that has this beautiful view. It has, it's a sunny day. It's filled with all sorts of like fruits and vegetables, the harvest, and it says wishes fulfilled. And it's, yeah, it's about things coming to fruition. And a full moon, which we were experiencing at the beginning of the week, is also about completion. Okay, so you know, this is a time where, yeah, I mean, it might literally be that you're harvesting, you know, the vegetables and fruits from the garden that you worked on so hard all summer long, or it might be a project or something like that. And even though I mentioned earlier that, you know, the full moon can be a cleansing time as well, it's bringing up a lot of, you know, emotion or issues to deal with. You know, it's also this time of abundance and, you know, like I said, things that you've been working hard on coming to completion. So, it's, you know, there's keys in this too. It's kind of like, you know, you're having the keys to the storehouse or the keys to, you know, things working out in a newer, better way for you. So there's really a lot of symbolism when we look at these cards. Okay, I feel for some people, if you've been out there looking for a new home or a new place to live, okay, this might be the beginning of that fulfillment, like, oh yes, we found it, you know, and literally the fact that the keys are in this picture, you're going to be getting the keys soon, or you know, maybe you found the place and you've, you know, just recently moved into it, so it's kind of like reflective affirmation of that, and it's a place that will hold a lot of abundance for you. So, because I feel like, you know, for those out looking for a home or to create a home or looking for a new place to live, or maybe you've just found a new place to live, it very much, this card very much speaks to that, because it is a home and it's filled with abundance and fruits and has that feeling of hominess to it. So the next card that the Akashic came out with was this one, Loving Elementals, and it's a really adorable picture of a little baby surrounded by, you know, fairies and sprites. And again, this is sort of in alignment with the fairy card that we got, that parenting and children. Okay, children are very connected. When they're outdoors, they're very much in tune with the fairies. There are some who see it and mention it to their parents sometimes. But anyways, it's about connection with nature and being surrounded by loving elementals who are, you know, supporting you in whatever process or whatever you're going through this week. So it's sort of suggestive that it, you know, as well as getting back to school and routines, it's important too to be outdoors with kids. And it may be that where you are, there's some, you know, beautiful weather going on, and it's a great time of year to do that. And that issues that you're encountering with your children may in some ways be resolved by spending that time outdoors with them. Because it's a great, the outdoors is a great healer for a lot of people, and it helps to kind of dissipate, I guess is the word I want to use, tension and stuff like that, that are a lot of emotion and sensitivity that's coming up for people. So anyways, then we get the Six of Keys with this, what they call increscent moon. And now I don't know that we'll actually be in this phase, since the beginning of the week we're at the full moon. But what's in this image, it's again heralds a time of abundance and things coming to fruition and fulfillment for you. And in here they show a sculptor who's finishing up a piece of work, like a bust of some kind. And this card very much has to do with being kind of lauded for your reputation and known for what you do. And, you know, it symbolizes abundance coming in, or increasing. It could also mean your reputation and respect is increasing or being appreciated. And it looks out on this beautiful scene where he's overlooking, you know, like a city in the background, etc., etc. But so again, it heralds this abundance that's coming in, or I'm looking to see if there's another word to describe it, but well, I don't get one. I'm sure if there's one that is meant for it, it'll come. And the last card we got from them is this one. Okay, and it says clearing the way. And with these particular cards, the symbology is really in the image. So it's a couple that's in their you know, horse and carriage, and they're going down the long road to their home, which is in the background there, but there's a big log blocking the way. And so this card has to do with taking the action necessary to remove the block in a very strong and focused way that's not overly aggressive but not too gentle either, because this is a log, and it means that there's going to be some action that's needed on your part to, you know, remove something that's a major block that's getting in your way. Okay, I mean, you'll obviously recognize it, you'll see it, you'll know what it is, but it's going to take some action and effort on your part to clear and lift it out of the way. But it can be done. It's just going to take some focused action. And I guess that's the best way to describe it. Focused and action with intent on your part. Because, you know, a log in the middle of the road isn't something that you can just, you know, use your foot to kick aside. It needs something stronger than that. And but you can't be overly aggressive either, because it'll wear you out, and it could make a mess of the whole thing, make it worse. But so anyways, it's about clearing a final obstacle towards something that you've been working towards. Okay, you're trying to get what is like home to you in the background, but there's this, you know, this major obstacle there, and that obstacle could be like it could be a pattern of belief that you had. It could be like it could be a legal matter. You know, in this image, it symbolizes a tree blocking the road, but, you know, the tree is symbolic. You know, it could be something that feels like that to you, you know, like a legal hurdle that needs to be gotten past, a thought, belief, or pattern, a way of believing about yourself and the world that you've been taught, or was ingrained in you at a very young age, that takes some focused therapeutic work to remove. Or it could be that there is some kind of physical object. It could be that you're dismantling a part of your home that doesn't serve you anymore. And I mean, it could literally mean that you had something fall in your driveway that you need to clear out of the way in a very literal way. But so it's time to remove that block, and the means and the strength and whatever it is that it's going to take for you to do that is available to you. Okay, so interesting working with this, you know, new card deck. Well, it's not new. I've had it around for a while. I just haven't used it very often in the readings. But anyways, I hope you all have a lovely week. And, you know, obviously put your thoughts and comments down below if you have some. Always love to hear those. So take care, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful week.